Before today's final league game of the season, there was a pause and a 1 minute's applause for much-loved former player Steve Moore, who sadly passed away recently at the very young age of 32. It was obvious from everyone round the ground that he really was much loved at the club. My own memories of Steve, I remember, must be 8-9 years ago, him coming on as a substitute at Horndean in the Wessex League Cup semi-final second leg and storming through the middle to put the ball in the net for the winning goal, and the smile on his face when he turned round. And then much later in his career, I remember him being the midfield linchpin of Ed Taylor's very young reserve team, when Steve just stood in the centre circle and supplied the passes. He had a lovely touch with the football and made that team tick. We'll all remember Steve Moore at Cuthbury. And now on to today's game, final game of the season, and it ended Wimborne Town 2, Yate Town 0, but that really didn't tell the story of Wimborne's dominance of almost the whole game. Again, no surprises in the Wimborne lineup. Pat O'Flaherty in goal, fullbacks Ryan Murray, and one change, Bill Maybury brought back into the left back position instead of Ryan Johnson. Scott Arnold and Sam Davidson in the middle of the defence. A midfield four of Dan O'Sullivan on the right, Louis Kellaway and Jack Lupton in the middle, and Sam Beeston on the left with Mark Ford and James Stocco up front. And Wimborne got off to the best of starts when they went ahead on just 3 minutes. Mark Ford getting the ball and taking it from the inside right channel and putting his right foot through it and scoring at the near post. 1-0 Wimborne, 3 minutes. Well, 14 minutes, Mark Ford again got to the left byline, a really good run, but no one was there for his cutback. And as I said on Tuesday after the Totton game, Ryan Murray and Dan O'Sullivan combining really well down the right. They're forming an excellent partnership in this Wimborne team. To be fair, there wasn't an awful lot more in the way of goalmouth action for the first half until quite near the end. And in 40 minutes, a really excellent challenge by Sam Davidson to thwart a Yate forward who otherwise would have been right through on goal, and then wouldn't you know it, 1 minute later a corner from Mark Ford, which he'd won himself, was taken, and there was Sam Davidson in an attacking position to head home at the far post to make it 2-0 to the Magpies at half time. In 51 minutes, Pat O'Flaherty was called into action for pretty much the first time. He got down well to his right to make a good save. And then a minute later, Mark Ford was in good position, but blasted over the bar. Across from Ryan Murray on 54 minutes was met by James Stocco and his chest down to Sam Beeston, who shot just over the bar. Good move by Wimborne. Free kick on the right for Wimborne just before the hour mark. Mark Ford took it. The defender headed the clearance and it came back towards the goal. Fordy was there again to hit it across goal, and a Wimborne forward headed it and it was cleared off the line. So that was as exciting as the second half had got up to that point. And again, good work, Mark Ford in 63 minutes. There's a pattern developing here. Wide on the left, really good work. Beat his man despite being fouled and got a very good cross in. But again, nobody there to take advantage of it. Fordy was withdrawn on 67 minutes for Taylor Leonard coming on, and he got a big ovation. Mark Ford had a very good game today. Looked very sharp. Free kick Yate on 77 minutes, just outside the box by the left byline, but a chance was wasted. An overhit went for a goal kick. At this point, Yate eventually showing a little bit more attacking intent, and their tricky number 11, Josh Williams, was by far their best player. He looked really like the only player capable of hurting Wimborne today. Ryan Johnson came on for Sam Beeston on 78 minutes. And Wimborne continued to press. 81 minutes, a corner to Wimborne on the right, taken by Dan O'Sullivan, but cleared. And then 2 minutes later, more good work by Dan O'Sullivan on the right gave James Stocco a shooting chance, but James scuffed his shot wide of the keeper's right-hand post. Billy Maybury brought the ball forward on 86 minutes and fed Dan O'Sullivan, whose shot went across the keeper and just past the post. And then on 87 minutes, Will Pryor came on for his Wimborne Town debut, came off the bench. Louis Kellaway, the man to go off. and there was still time for Billy Maybury to fire a strong shot just over the bar. But the game finished a good shutout for Wimborne. Wimborne Town 2, Yate Town 0. Difficult to name a man of the match. There was quite a few good performances. Mark Ford certainly had his best game for a while. Dan O'Sullivan gets better with every game that passes. But my vote this week goes to Sam Davidson. Formed an excellent partnership with Scott Arnold in the heart of the Magpie defence. Looked solid as anything, and also contributed with that vital second goal just before half-time. That's it then. No more games to talk about this season. That's it until next season. But we hope to see you here in August for the start of next season.
Excellent.
And with Simon after today's 2-0 win over Yate Town. Simon, I think we said after the North League game about 10 days ago that the last 3 games were all winnable, and you've all won them.
Absolutely.
This management lark's quite easy.
It is, isn't it? It is really easy. I don't know what the fuss is about. Said you just come in and you just shout a lot of the players when they're not doing very well, and pat them on the back when they're doing well, and let them do the rest, really. So.
Well, I'll ask you the same question I asked you on Tuesday night, talking what pleased you the most about the result, about the performance.
I'm tempted to say the fans, but having seen them idiots there, then maybe not.
Motley crew.
I think they've, as I said, what's been really pleasing is that Brendan and myself have brought in our experience of playing at this level, and what needs to be done. It's not always pretty. It's about just being difficult to beat at times and having a little bit of quality going forward. And they've all listened and they've all taken it on board, and the results have spoken for themselves. So we're happy. And as I said, I think a little bit of momentum. Or you could argue that some of the other sides have had their bit of end of season feel to their games, but you still got to go and win them. And I thought we were excellent for the first 10 minutes. Let it drop off a little bit in the middle of the first half, and then Sam Davidson scored that second goal, which gives us that little bit of buffer at half time. And in the second half, it was a bit of a non-event the second half, really. But having said that, we'd had a couple of half chances, and we could have gone on and won the game 3 or 4, which would have been a really good way to finish it. But I'll take 2-0 and 3 wins on the bounce off of anybody. So good.
Mark Ford's taken a wee bit of criticism over the last month or so. He's been in position to get chances, but he's missed them. I thought he had a really good game today. He looked sharp, didn't he?
Yeah, Fordy's game is mainly about his goals. I mean, it's almost all about his goals. It has been as he's grown up and come through Southern League football when he played at Weymouth. But he's brought a little bit more into his game in the time he's been here, and Brendan knows him probably better than I do, having managed him at Weymouth. And he said that he won't work that hard, but he'll score you a few goals. Well, he's worked quite hard for us.
I thought he did.
And he certainly did today. And there's obviously, I hope there's more to come from Fordy, and I'm pleased that he got on the score sheet today.
With his right foot.
Yeah, because I think with Fordy, he will get a few chances in games, and it's just a case of him taking them. And I think the concern would be if Fordy wasn't getting chances, thinking, well, what are you getting from him? But maybe next season with a pre-season behind him, firing from on all cylinders from the start, if we can get 15-20 goals a season, it'll make a huge difference to where we go next year.
Quite a few partnerships developing all over the team. I'll mention a couple. Obviously Sam Davidson and Scott Arnold at centre back. I mean, a lot of clean sheets recently, and also Dan O'Sullivan and Ryan Murray on the right wing. I thought Dan had an excellent game today.
Yeah, we've had a relatively settled side. I appreciate I probably changed it around a little bit, but that's because of the running I needed to get. People needed to get some game time. Had we been in a position where we needed these wins, I would have probably had a more settled side, and that helps because people know what to expect from their teammates. They know what they're going to do, and as I said, little partnerships have sprung up over the last few games. And I mean, I'll pick out Sam Davidson and Scott because I thought Sam was excellent today. He's shored things up at the back since he's come in with Scott. He's looked really comfortable at this level of football, and he's bagged 2 goals as well. And that it ticks all boxes for me. And I'm delighted that I sort of took a punt on him and brought him in on the basis of really just watching him on a couple of occasions, thinking there's something to work with. And he's come on leaps and bounds, and I think he's going to be a real player for us in the years to come.
Yeah. Last game of the season today, but I'm guessing this is not the end of the work for you for a couple of months. There'll be quite a bit to do for you and Brendan.
No, that's when that's when things will sort of get busy. Having said that, I mean we're not up here doing training, but there'll be telephone calls. Speaking to Bill, I've got a couple of meetings with Paula, to sort of thrash out some details with regards to the finances for next year and what we're hoping to do and what we're planning on doing. But yeah, I'm excited by what we hope to do. Hopefully, I'll get the backing of the board in terms of money and support and things like that, because whilst we've achieved quite a lot with what's gone on from sort of end of January, beginning of January, when we had all the finances and the budget cut. There's only so long that you can keep going on with the goodwill of people at player, at manager level, whatever it might be. And I think, in all honesty, we've probably overachieved. Actually, I think a lot of people would have looked at our situation and saw the players that left.
No doubt about it.
All right, cheers, lads. Thank you. And have seen us and probably thought we were going to be the whipping boys, and I think probably there's probably genuine concern from probably inside the club and outside that we were going to get dragged into a relegation battle. And looking at it from outside, probably it was a justifiable thing to think that we might have done, but a bit of personal pride between for me and Brendan, and what we've done, worked hard to get the guys a level where they think they can compete, and we've got the right people in, and I said some people have gone on and moved on, and we're happy with what we've done, but as I said, it's now what we need now is now to build on this. So we need that support I need that support from the board, so that we can kick on next year. Because as good as we've enjoyed the last few games, I don't want the 3 games that we've won now to be the highlight of my tenure here at the club. I want now just to kick on, and I don't want us to be 15th, 16th, 17th in league or whatever we end up finishing. I want us to be top half or even higher.
And this club is big enough, isn't it? With over 200 people again here today for the season game. This club's big enough to be challenging for promotion to the Premier Division.
Yeah. I mean, it may be little steps to start with, but those steps have got to start from somewhere, and we'll start putting those blocks, the building blocks in place, hopefully throughout the summer and in pre-season, so that we can take this little bit of momentum that we've gathered this year into the start of next year. And you don't know what's going to happen. The makeup of the league next year, different sides, and some sides you think are going to challenge, may not. If we can start off really well, with that kind of enthusiasm and encouragement and support of the fans and all that kind of thing, you never know what might happen.
Simon, on behalf of all the supporters, congratulations to you and to Brendan for what you've done, and thank you very much, and can't wait for next season.
Yeah, thanks Ken, and thanks for all you've done as well. I know this is your last game, and it's going to be a sad day for you to leave, but it's sad for people to see you go as well, but I wish you all the best.
I'll be here in spirit. Thank you very much.
Cheers,
mate. Thanks, Simon.